Hi, this is Phillip at Château Avensac. I am currently in the entrance hall and about to tour the dining room, or in French, the salle à manger, the room of eating. Now, I have to make a confession. I recorded this video like over a month ago, but it was so shaky and unstable that it's not watchable. And since then, there's been a whole bunch of stuff happening in the dining room, so it's hard to really see much of what's going on. So Mark's going to intersperse some bits of that video which aren't horrible, and along with some photos so you can kind of see what's going on. So let's go to the salle à manger. The two doors on either side, this one and this one, both go into the dining room. As we enter the dining room, you hear the glorious sounds of the electrician chiseling out the walls in the apartment above the kitchen. It's music through my ears to hear that. So welcome to the dining room. As I said, when I did the original video, this room was clear, and now it's full of stuff from the library. So these are the bookshelves from the library. They're being temporarily stored in here while the electric and plumbing is being put in. And you can see that this was fully covered last night when I looked in here, and some naughty cats have obviously been playing around in here. If anything goes wrong, just blame it on the cats. This room, like the entrance hall I just came from, has this wainscoting. The wainscoting on this wall was a bit problematic. It's clear that there was moisture behind the wall, and some of the wood had warped and pulled away from the wall. And then at some point, someone had filled it in with some wood panels, which didn't really help that much. So we've actually taken all that off, doing some repairs to it, and after the electricity and plumbing is put in, then this will all go back on the wall. The problem with the wall is that there was gypsum plaster on the wall behind this, which seals the wall and doesn't allow moisture to come through. It doesn't allow the wall to breathe, and then it gets trapped in the wall and then causes problems. So when we put this back, we'll plaster with lime-based plaster, which will breathe. So hopefully going forward, this won't be a problem anymore. An interesting feature of the dining room is on this wall here, there was a very large wood paneling along this wall. It's between this door. You can kind of see the little tip of the corner right there of the door on the other side. These are the two doors that go into the entrance hall, and it was a big wood paneling. It was put in by the previous owners around 1960 when they remodeled the house. And we can kind of see from right here that behind it was evidence of the same wainscoting that's in the rest of the dining room. But what's really interesting is you actually see some layers of other finishes. So we have this green finish here, and you can see that the lines coming there. There's obviously was a plaster layer that was faux painted to look like paneling, but underneath it, you have this red. Let's see if I can get it a little bit closer. This red. Now it's been scratched up. I presume that that was scratched up when then this layer of plaster was put over to help it stick to it. But you can, it's hard to see here, but in person you can see it's got a marble effect. It's a lot like the marble floor in the entrance hall. And that's underneath the green. So clearly this wall at one point had a marbleized plaster finish here. And we can also see evidence that at one time there was a chair rail, a lower one right here. You can see it was kind of went straight across. So that was the older finish. This is probably the original finish. This was done later. Then the wainscoting was put on, and then this was taken off to put the large wood paneling that was just on this one wall. We are saving that wood paneling, and we're gonna use it in a bedroom. This room, like most of the downstairs, was remodeled in the late 18th century, and we suspect that this fireplace was also part of that remodel. This is much different than the other fireplaces in the house. And the way it's finished, it's a little fancier. It's got the lovely fleur-de-lis design and this green marble surround. And if I continue around, this is the door to the library. And what the hell, we'll just take a quick peek in. right? So this passes through in the library. So in the dining room, I'm in the front of the house on the courtyard, and then the library is in the back of the house on the terrace, right? And you see on the other side is another set of doors, which is a cabinet, a china cabinet. And what's interesting, it's very possible when the house was built, this actually was a door into the library, which may not have been a library back then. And it was obviously at some point then sealed up and then just made into a closet. Some of the dishes in here we brought from the United States, particularly the set of pink. But what's interesting about this, we bought these in where we lived in Northern California at an antique fair. They came from the Chateau estate in San Francisco. Chateau was a big socialite family in San Francisco back in the day. But they are from Gien, France. So they've come home, the set of dishes. And actually, I was really attracted to these. Sorry, there's some things in the way. I was attracted to these because of the insects. There, and there. They're on the rims of the dishes. And you can see some of them in here as well. I thought that was just really great. The pattern is called paysage, which means countryside, and the dishes depict scenes of the countryside. This door here is also interesting in that when we bought the house, this was a closet. And so it was another closet. But like this other one, it really passed through to the service area. And so we took out the wall that was behind and to open it back up to make it another pass-through. I kind of love this. What's really interesting is the door on the left is completely false. This is solid stone. You can kind of peer behind it a little bit and you can see this is it's all plaster and stone. So this door was never meant to be used. It was just a fake door to provide the symmetry in the room. So if you notice that on the front of the dining room, let's see if I can get, it's very inconvenient when you put all your furniture in the middle of the room. The front of the dining room are 2 windows, and then on every other wall, the 3 other walls, each have 2 sets of doors. So it's got a very nice symmetry of, let's see if I can get up there. There, you can kind of see door, and then on the back, door, and on this last wall, we have door. So this room is very symmetrical, which is part of its 18th century design. These doors, by the way, go to a room that we call the butler's pantry. We'll take a quick sneak peek, but we'll be doing a video in this later. And the door on the same wall goes to goes to the same pantry, same room. Just a little further down. This is one of our favorite rooms to use in the chateau because we don't use it every day. We really use it for festive occasions. And I also love it because I often walk through this room to get from the entrance hall to the kitchen or the library to the kitchen. And this room is always in kind of, it's always tidy because we don't use it every day. It doesn't really get messy so much. So it's always kind of a joy to see as you walk through and to kind of think about the fun events we've had here, whether it was Easter dinner or Christmas dinner or our Halloween party. This all happens in this room. So whenever you walk through, it's just kind of there's always a spark of joy. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tour of the dining room, the salle à manger. And please leave comments, suggestions, ideas. We love to hear it all. So thank you for watching. We can get in there. You can see these sort of metal bars inside the chimney. So that was a kind of way to help heat get into the room by having air flowing through those bars, and then they come out of openings on the side of the place. You can kind of just see, oh, no, you can't see because it's too dark, but there's, let's see if I can get in there. No, I can't get in there. Now my whole thing is messed up. I don't know what's going on.